What if I told you the most important bee in the hive isn't the queen? It might sound crazy, but today, we're going to reveal the surprising unsung heroes that keep a colony alive. Without them, the entire hive would collapse in weeks. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll understand the secret social structure that makes a bee colony one of the most fascinating superorganisms on the planet. Welcome back to the channel. For anyone new here, we're all about diving deep into the world of bees, making beekeeping accessible, and sharing the incredible science behind these tiny pollinators. So, when we talk about a hive, our minds immediately go to the queen bee. She's the mother of the entire colony, laying up to 2,000 eggs a day. She is absolutely vital, no doubt. Her pheromones are like the chemical glue holding the whole society together, letting everyone know that the colony is healthy and has a future. If she disappears, the colony quickly descends into chaos. But the queen is essentially an egg-laying machine, confined to the darkness of the hive. She doesn't forage for food, she doesn't build the comb, and she doesn't defend the colony from invaders. So, who does all the heavy lifting? The worker bees, of course. But even within the tens of thousands of worker bees, there are specialized roles that are absolutely critical, and one group, in particular, holds the key to the hive's survival. Especially during tough times, let's talk about forager bees. These are the adventurers, the breadwinners. They are the bees you see buzzing from flower to flower, collecting nectar and pollen, but their job is far more complex than just gathering food. They are expert navigators, using the sun as a compass and communicating the location of rich food sources to their sisters through an amazing performance known as the Waggle dance. This dance is a complex set of movements that tells other foragers the direction and distance to a flower patch. It's like a living GPS system. Without these skilled foragers, the hive would starve. They are the engine of the colony's economy. But even the most successful forager is useless if there's no one home to receive the goods. This brings us to the receiver, or processor bees. When a forager returns to the hive, loaded with nectar, she doesn't just dump it into a cell. She passes it mouth to a younger house bee. This process, called trophallaxis, is where the magic of honey making begins. The house bee adds enzymes from her own body to the nectar, which starts breaking down the complex sugars into simpler ones. This nectar is passed from bee to bee, reducing its water content and adding more enzymes each time, until it's finally placed in a honeycomb cell to ripen into honey. These processor bees are the hive's master chefs, turning raw plant sugar into a stable, energy-rich food that can last for years. Now, let's go even deeper, to the role I believe is the most underrated but arguably the most crucial for long-term survival, the nurse bees. These are the youngest adult workers, typically just a few days old. Their primary job is to care for the next generation. They feed the larvae, a mixture of pollen and honey, and they produce a special substance called royal jelly from glands in their heads. This high-protein superfood is what turns a regular larva into a queen. But more importantly, the nurse bees are responsible for raising the tens of thousands of new workers that will replace the older generation. Think about it. The average worker bee only lives for about 6 weeks in the summer. That means the colony's population is constantly turning over. A healthy, continuous supply of new bees is non-negotiable. If the nurse bees fail, if they can't feed the brood properly, or if disease sweeps through the nursery, the hive's population plummets. Within a few weeks, there won't be enough foragers to bring in food, not enough guards to defend the entrance, and not enough bees to regulate the hive's temperature. The colony is doomed. So while the queen lays the eggs, it's the nurses who truly raise the army. They are the kingmakers and the foundation of the future. And there's one more group we have to mention, the Undertaker bees. Yes, you heard that right. Bees have designated undertakers. About 1 to 2% of the colony's workers take on the role of removing dead bees from the hive. This is a vital hygiene task. A dead bee can be a breeding ground for bacteria and fungi that could devastate the colony. These Undertaker bees will carry their fallen sisters far away from the hive entrance to prevent the spread of disease. It's a somber but essential job that protects the health of the entire superorganism. So, let's put it all together. The queen is the heart of the hive, but she's not the whole story. The foragers are the providers, the processors are the chemists, the undertakers are the medics, and the nurses. The nurses are the future. They are the ones ensuring the colony's legacy continues. Generation after generation, it's this incredible division of labor. This complex social web where every bee has a purpose that makes the hive so resilient. It's not about one single important bee, it's about the seamless cooperation of thousands of individuals working for the collective good. And understanding this helps us become better beekeepers and better advocates for bees. For instance, when we inspect a hive, we're not just looking for the queen. We're looking for a healthy brood pattern, which tells us the nurse bees are doing their job. We're observing the flow of pollen coming in, which tells us the foragers are successful. Every role is a piece of the puzzle, a vital sign for the colony's health. So next time you see a bee, remember there's an entire civilization behind her, a bustling city where every citizen has a critical role. It's a beautiful reminder that even the smallest creatures can achieve incredible things when they work together. How do these incredible insects adapt to the changing seasons? And more importantly, how do they face unprecedented threats like pesticides, vanishing habitats, and a shifting climate? Today, we're diving deeper, beyond the hive entrance, to witness the daily drama, the ingenious engineering, and the secret language that allows bees to survive. We'll also confront the dangers they face and discover how we, their human neighbors, can become their greatest allies. Let's begin with a day in the life of the colony. It's a symphony of coordinated action from sunrise to sunset. Imagine thousands of worker bees, each with a specific job. The youngest start as nurse bees, tending to the precious larvae and feeding them royal jelly. They meticulously clean the hexagonal cells, preparing them for the next generation. As they age, their roles shift. Some become architects, producing wax from glands on their abdomens to build and repair the comb. Others take on guard duty, vigilantly protecting the hive entrance from intruders. The most experienced become foragers, embarking on dangerous journeys to find nectar, pollen, and water. Meanwhile, the male drones await their one vital mission, to mate with a new queen. And at the heart of it all is the queen herself, a living legend, laying up to 2,000 eggs a day, ensuring the colony's future. It's this flawless division of labor, this selfless dedication to the collective, that sustains the entire superorganism. Every bee knows its part, and together, they create a thriving metropolis. Now, let's zoom in on one of the hive's most incredible feats of engineering, the wax factory and the honey economy. How do bees build their perfect, six-sided homes? It starts with the worker bees consuming large amounts of honey. Their bodies metabolize the sugars and secrete tiny, clear flakes of beeswax from special glands. Other workers then collect these scales, chew them to make them pliable, and painstakingly sculpt them into the iconic hexagonal cells of the honeycomb. But why hexagons? This shape is a marvel of efficiency. It uses the least amount of wax to hold the most amount of honey, creating a structure that is both lightweight and incredibly strong. This isn't just a pantry, it's a masterpiece of natural architecture. Once the comb is built, foragers return with nectar. This nectar is passed from bee to bee, mouth to mouth, reducing its water content and adding enzymes. The processed nectar is then stored in the honeycomb cells, where the bees fan it with their wings to evaporate even more water until it becomes the thick, stable food source we know as honey. This is their energy reserve, the fuel that will power the colony through the winter and sustain generations to come. A bustling city of thousands needs a sophisticated communication system, and bees are masters of language. Their most famous form of communication is the waggle dance. When a forager finds a rich source of nectar, she returns to the hive and performs a special figure-8 dance on the surface of the comb. The angle of the dance in relation to gravity tells her sisters the direction of the food source relative to the sun. The duration of the waggle part of the dance indicates how far away it is. It's a living GPS, a precise map shared through movement. But their language doesn't stop there. Bees also communicate through an invisible world of chemical signals called pheromones. The queen releases a special pheromone that lets the entire colony know she is healthy and present, which maintains social order. When a bee stings a threat, it releases an alarm pheromone that instantly mobilizes other guards to defend the hive. These chemical messages regulate everything from foraging to reproduction to defense, allowing the colony to act as one unified mind. It's this constant flow of information through dance, touch, and scent that allows bees to make collective decisions, respond to threats, and demonstrate remarkable resilience in the face of a changing world. But even with their incredible resilience, bees are facing threats that are pushing them to their limits. Their world is shrinking. Habitat loss, driven by agriculture and urbanization, is wiping out the wildflower meadows and diverse landscapes they depend on for food. Imagine flying for miles and finding nothing but a monoculture crop or a concrete jungle. This is the reality for many bees. Then there's the invisible threat of pesticides, particularly neonicotinoids. These chemicals can be absorbed by plants, making their nectar and pollen toxic. Even at low levels, they can impair a bee's navigation, learning, and immune system, making them more vulnerable to diseases and parasites. Speaking of parasites, the varroa destructor mite is one of the bee's most formidable enemies. This tiny parasite latches onto bees, feeding on their body fat and transmitting deadly viruses. It weakens the entire colony from the inside out. And layered on top of all this is climate change. Erratic weather patterns, unseasonable warmth, and prolonged droughts disrupt the delicate timing between when flowers bloom and when bees emerge to pollinate them. The stress is visible. Beekeepers find hives with patchy brood patterns, diminished honey stores, and a workforce struggling to survive. These aren't just problems for bees. They are threats to our entire food system, which relies heavily on their pollination services. Faced with these daunting challenges, it's easy to feel helpless, but this is where the story turns. This is where we come in. Across the globe, a powerful partnership between humans and bees is taking shape, offering a beacon of hope. Beekeepers are on the front lines, acting as stewards of their colonies. They employ sustainable practices, carefully monitoring for parasites like the varroa mite and developing innovative, chemical-free treatments. They are not just honey farmers, they are conservationists. Beyond the apiary, a movement is growing. In bustling cities, urban beekeeping is thriving on rooftops and in community gardens, bringing pollination back to our concrete landscapes. People are transforming their own backyards, balconies, and window boxes into pollinator-friendly havens. Planting native wildflowers, avoiding pesticides, and providing a small water source are simple actions with profound impacts. These small patches of habitat create vital corridors for bees and other pollinators to travel and forage. It's a beautiful reminder that our actions, no matter how small they seem, accumulate. When a neighborhood, a city, or a nation decides to plant for pollinators, it creates a powerful ripple effect, rebuilding the very ecosystems that sustain us all. So, what have we learned on this deeper dive into the world of bees? We've seen that they are far more than just producers of honey. They are master architects, expert communicators, and a vital indicator of our planet's health. Their struggles are a direct reflection of the pressures we are putting on our environment. But we've also seen that there is immense hope. The solutions are within our reach, and they often start right in our own backyards. You have the power to be part of this solution. The simplest first step is to plant pollinator-friendly flowers. Choose native species that bloom at different times throughout the season. Let a small patch of your lawn grow wild. Say no to pesticides in your garden. Support local beekeepers by buying their honey and other hive products. Your choices matter. Your garden matters. You are a crucial part of this story of recovery. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey. If you were inspired by the resilience of these amazing creatures, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the natural world. And we'd love to hear from you. Share your own stories of beekeeping or planting for pollinators in the comments below. Let's create a community of bee allies together. Thanks for watching.